How we doing? How we doing, huh? How we doing, huh? How you doing? Bada bing. What was I going to talk about? I had this whole, I got distracted with this other stuff. I was thinking about something, and then I reached out to a friend, and then, what I really wanted to say was, the whole thing has to do with your perspective. The whole thing, your trajectory, your life, I was talking to a friend last night, and, here's the tricky part is there's very many perspectives that you can take. Some of them are conflicting, some of them are helpful, so it just all depends on your situation. But I was talking to a friend last night who's moved up north recently, or he's taken on a job where he's on rotation up north. And so he goes back and forth flying, and his partner is at home, and he goes for 2 weeks up north, and then he comes back, and then she does her own job, her own thing. So they get very small window together. And I said, man, that's tough. You go for 2 weeks up north, you're isolated without your partner, without your friends, you're thrown off your routine, blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, that's tough. And he goes, well, I'm just grateful to have a job, really. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. That's a great motivator, If you can look at it like that, glass half full, and you're like, yeah, this sucks, but I'm grateful. I feel gratitude for having this job and this opportunity. Ooh, that'll take you far, And then I thought, well, here's another perspective. Well, it's that same gratitude for the job that may keep him locked into that situation that he's in. Meaning this is like a job, you can treat it as an opportunity. You can also treat it or look at it as a cage. It's something that keeps you trapped. You have to show up from this time to this time and whatever. I do see jobs as opportunities, right? And I think that's the only way to look at them. That is beneficial. Because if you look at it like, oh, it's a cage, well then that's what it will be for you. You won't be able to escape. That's it. But if you look at it as, well, I have to devote this much time to it per day, per week, per month, whatever. Here's the return. And let's be real about that. And then what can I do outside of that to make my life situation better overall? And it really just has to do with your perspective. On almost like a separate note, so I've been out in a rural community for education, for fire school, so that I can upgrade some of my certifications. And it's been 5 days. It's been 6 days. Yeah, 6 days since I came out here. The day I came out here, I was, let me get up for you, Zonix. I was on these nicotine pouches. I took an edible. I still have a bunch in my bag. I came out here with the intention of, oh yeah, I'm letting loose. I'm smoking. I'm eating edibles. I'm doing these nicotine pouches. I might buy a vape. I might get some drinks at the liquor store. And here I am, Thursday. I came out here Friday. And since Friday, I haven't had edibles. I haven't smoked weed. I haven't bought a vape. I haven't bought nicotine pouches. No, it's not that I didn't want to. The parking lot where I'm parked, where I've come every single day, where I've debated it, there's a Shoppers Drug Mart that sells these Zonix. Okay, this is empty, by the way. Just so you know. And I've wanted to get a pack every day. And every day I wrestle with myself and I go, all right, well, is this what I really want? Do I really want this? The answer is no. I don't really want this. I'm compelled to do it, to go into the store, to buy it, to open it up, to put one in my mouth and feel that stimulation. I've been compelled to do that for a while because my environment dictates that I'm under certain conditions. And when I'm under those certain conditions, they're unfavorable, and I look for ways to cope with those unfavorable conditions. And so I rely on nicotine and cannabis and alcohol, and changing my environment, even temporarily, just for the week, has shown me that really it's not like I've got something wrong with me or I've got these demons that I'm trying to fight and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just the environment that I'm living in is stressful in its own way to my nervous system. And this is how I'm coping. I'm in some ways stimulating, in some ways self-sabotaging, and I'm getting caught in these cycles because I'm facing the same problem over and over again. But if you remove yourself and you change your environment, you give your nervous system a new set of circumstances to adjust to. And you might just be able to, if you change your circumstance for long enough, do it long enough to where you create new habits, new thought patterns, new beliefs that rewire these addiction patterns, So I go back tomorrow is when I go back to to my house, to my hometown. And I'm really hoping that these changes can stick, but it's only been a week, and generally speaking, you need about 3 weeks to make these changes really happen. So, but I understand now. I have this newfound knowledge, like, oh, something's got to be done about my environment. And unfortunately, we live in a time where the cost of living is so high. You've got to make some drastic changes to your work ethic, to your career, to your employment, blah, 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 to live in a situation that is beneficial for you. And so it's, in some ways, it's never been more difficult. In other ways, it's never been easier. It's all about your perspective, how you look at it. That is something that I've noticed. The people who are winners in life, they always use the situations to their advantage, somehow. Even if they're at a disadvantage, they'll use it as an advantage. So for an example, like, well, if they've got some type of, not a handicap, but some, not disability, disadvantage, in that, like I come from a small town, or I live in a small town. They'll look at their situation, and they'll look at their end goal, their objective, and they'll say, well, not very many people from small towns have pulled that off. I'd be an outlier, wow, what would that say about me when I make it happen? I've got the whole deck stacked against me. I live in a small town. It's a rural community. I don't have access to mentors or to memberships or to facilities or resources that all these other people have, and I'm still going to succeed. That's how real winners look at these type of situations. And so if you want to be a winner, that's how you got to do it, man. Like, your situation sucks. For whatever reason, you feel like the deck is stacked against you and you've got XYZ obstacles or challenges to overcome or to face or to deal with. Yeah, man, just do it. That's why the Nike slogan is so impactful. It's like, are you going to make excuses or are you going to find solutions? And maybe you just need a temporary change in your environment to show you what's possible, to show you all right, there's nothing wrong with me inherently. It's not like I'm a bad person or, you know, I'm making poor decisions or anything like that necessarily. Maybe you just need a change of environment. Maybe you just need to get out of the house, you know? Maybe you just need to switch up your routine. Maybe you got to move. Maybe you got to make a move, you know? Maybe you got to sell something. Maybe you got to buy something. Maybe you got to read a different book. Maybe, just try something new, try something different. The definition of insanity, I don't know if that's actually the definition, but that's what, they've said for a very long time, the common phrase, trying something over and over again, getting the same result. I don't know what that looks like for you in your life and at the point where you are in your journey, because I'm not speaking to you directly. I don't know your special set of circumstances, but for me and mine right now, I have certain goals and objectives, and I just realized, like, especially just these last few days of being sober, it's forced me to look at my cognition and my thoughts and my thought patterns, and it's forced me to look at them. I think before I could just numb myself out, not think about it, and go, oh, it's his fault. Oh, it's her fault. Oh, it's because I'm in a small town. Or, oh, it's because I'm poor. It's because of inflation. It's because of the system that I'm in. Blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. Take some control. Take some responsibility and make it happen. Make the change that you want happen in your life. Because, what's going to happen at the end of this thing and you don't get what you want? And you're going to blame all these external circumstances? Oh man, my life sucked and it was all their fault. No, you dummy. It was up to you this whole time. And you put it off. You blame somebody else. You made excuses. And that's what separates the winners from the losers. I don't want to be a loser, man. I don't. When I really sit down and think about it, I don't. That sucks. Failure sucks too. Yeah, sure. Embarrassment sucks. Being cringe sucks. Uploading videos to YouTube with no views or 5 views. Yeah, that sucks. But growing old, stagnating, not achieving your goals, not achieving anything meaningful in your life, that sucks more. That definitely sucks more. So I don't want to be on the sidelines. I don't want to be a coulda, woulda, shoulda guy. I want to be in the game. And yeah, I might get some turnovers. Yeah, I might miss a few shots. But at least I played, at least I tried, and I probably, I got something out of it. Maybe I didn't win the championship, but maybe I made it to the conference finals. Maybe I racked up a few playoff points, or maybe I emboldened the champions to go on and win the championship. And they reach out to me afterwards and say, man, if it wasn't for the way you played defense, I wouldn't have had as much tenacity to get to the finals. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass here, really, but everything happens for a reason, and you just got to look at your situation and go, am I fucking up? Am I making mistakes here? Am I messing things up? Like, truly, is this my fault? I thought it was their fault, his fault, her fault, but really, am I doing what I can to get myself closer to where I want to be? And you got to know where you want to be. That's the other half of the equation. If you don't know that, well, you got to get out and you got to try some stuff and see what feels good, see what feels bad, and learn, okay, the bad stuff, oh, that's not good, right? And there's different kind of bad, obviously. You get to a point where some of the bad feels good, and you're like, ooh, this is interesting. Some of the good feels bad. I thought I wanted this. Turns out I actually don't want this. And that just comes with time, experience, and reflection. So there's different stages of life. And I'm in a stage now where it's like, okay, I've got to take personal responsibility for where I am in life. And I know what I want. I know where I want to go. I do. It's just, do I have the courage to move in that direction? So that's what's on my mind recently. Anyways, if you made it this far, appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know why, but you see value in this somehow. It's educational, it's entertaining. I don't know. If you like it, like it. If you liked it, like it. If you got something to say, you have a thought to share, something stood out, it made you reflect on something in your own life, maybe you got something to share with me, leave a comment, appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't and you like this, because more videos will be coming out for show. And I got my day to do. I got shit to do. I got to get started. So just figured I'd leave a message to you guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. And see you in the next one. Bye.